Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. Thank you for joining me. It looks like an odd combination of stuff we got going on here today, huh? So as if you watch my videos, you know that I struggle with making bows. I just cannot seem to do it. So I've watched a whole bunch of videos. I saved a whole bunch of videos. And sometimes I think it's my dyslexic brain. Sometimes I'll watch a video and I try to do it and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know why this is so hard. But there was one video that caught my eye and I practiced it and I got it. And once I got it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was so simple. I don't know what my problem was. But it had to do with chopsticks. So my first round is this concoction. So they used chopsticks and they taped them to a table. And I thought, well, that's great. But every time you want to do something, why would you want to tape something to the table? I mean, I guess if you have a workbench that you could just maybe leave it, but they're sticking out and it's awkward. So I took a piece of just 2x4, and you could use almost anything to do this. And I just wanted to sand all the rough stuff off, just so it's a little bit better. And you could paint this or you can decorate it. That's completely up to you. You could put some stamping on it or whatever. But this was my test, so to speak, to see if this would work. So I'm going to build it the way I did originally. And like I said, you can embellish it any old way you want. So I used popsicle sticks, as you can see, and that worked fine, except for my, when you go to slide the bow off, it was getting caught and it's just kind of jagged. So then I thought, okay, well, I'll sand them, and it does work. It's not great. The nice thing about chopsticks is they're tapered and they're pretty smooth. Because they're tapered, the bow slides off easier once it's done. So this works if you have popsicle sticks or the craft sticks that are round like this. That'll work too. But next time you're at a restaurant, grab some chopsticks. So this one I did two-sided because I wanted to do smaller bows and then bigger bows. And I found that the smaller one was really too small for most of what I did. But if you're doing some small stuff, you could do it like this. So basically what I'm going to do is, normally I'd probably go out to the shed and I would put this through the saw. But I realize a lot of you don't have that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some wire cutters, woo, and it just flung across the room. I have to go grab that. But just go ahead and do a cut in there and just kind of turn it, and then it should fling across the room. So what you want to do next is you want to glue this onto your piece of wood. And the nice thing about that is then you can move this wherever you want and do the work you need to do. So I'm just going to take some hot glue, and I'm doing it kind of off to the edge here. Just kind of hold it until it stays. Okay, so this is now cooled, and so my sticks are on there, and I did go over the top a little bit just to give it a little bit more stability. You could also use like an E6000 and glue it down and just use a little hot glue to hold it in place until the E6000 sets up, whatever you have. But depending on how many loops you want to make, like this little bow has got 3 loops, you could make it, and if you're going to do like a batch of bows, you may want to pre-cut the ribbons. So you would make up your bow and then unmake it and measure it so you know how much ribbon you're going to need. So I got a piece here. So what you're going to want to do is kind of get the center of the ribbon and go around that will make one loop. And do it kind of tight so it doesn't want to walk away on you. And if you put this on the edge of a table, it works better. Do 2 loops. That gives you 2 loops. Kind of cross them in the back. So you're just taking your 2 ribbons and going like that. You're going to bring the ribbon that's closest to the board up and around. And then you're going to tie a knot, and you want the knot to kind of be towards the back. Like that, and pull it. And then you can pull your bow off, and then pull your little loops out. And when you can cut these whatever lengths you want. I'll show you with a little bit wider ribbon. If you have a ribbon that is one-sided, like this has got a shiny side and a flat side, it makes it easy to keep the side you want showing on the outside. So once again, we're gonna just crisscross these. That's 1 loop. That's 2 loops. And I made these too short, but we're gonna try it anyway. And then we're gonna do our little cross in the back. So that's what it looks like. You want to bring this one around. If you can, try to get your satin side out in this case. And then we're going to tie our knot. I hope I'm making this it's supposed to be really easy. You practice it a couple times and you will get it. And then tie it. I'm having troubles because the board's wanting to move around so much on me. But if you do set it on the edge of the table, it does work better. And just like that, you've got an adorable little bow. And as you can see, the satin side is out the way you want it. This side it's not, but you just flip that around and you're ready to go. So I'm hoping that helps you as much as it helps me. It did take me a few times of looping it around to actually get it, because, you know, once I got it kind of looped and then I was trying to do the back side, my brain shut down and it's like, what are you trying to do? But yeah, just practice it. But this makes it easier. If you want, you could use a heavier piece of wood. If you want a couple different widths, you know, of bows, then you could do, you know, a longer 2x4 and then do a couple sizes pointing out this way, or you could do, and then a couple pointing out that way, kind of like what I did here. Yeah, so you could just have a whole bunch of different sized ones. And like I said, the nice thing about the chopsticks is because they are angled, it slides right off and it makes it really easy. That being said, this made it super easy because it was flat. These are flat, and therefore it wasn't moving around quite as much on me when I was tying the bow. So give it a try. Let me know. Show me what you're making with your bows. If you have an easier way, send me a video. I'd love to see it, because this has been, I worked in the bridal industry for 10 years and it's hard to tell from my bows. You know, you're supposed to know how to make bows when you are in the bridal industry, and yet I could not get it. My bows were always ugly. But that's it for this week. Next week we will have a DIY full project, and I look forward to seeing you at that time. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye.